So hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Bill, and if I haven't met you yet, I'm a certified financial planner. And today we're going to talk about student loans, a little bit of statistics behind student loans, student loan repayment options, and then finally 2 student loan forgiveness programs that are out there. Really quick though, as of 2022, 1 in 7 Americans, around 13.5%, has student loans, and the average student loan balance is $37,667, which eclipses how much Americans have in credit card debt. And so I used to have this conversation with my grandmother, who was she was a doctorate at NYU, and education was her field. And we would talk about the changes in the educational, especially higher educational college track. And one of the points that I would always bring up is like the average cost of a 4-year college in 1970 was around $5,000. Where, and that's according to the National Center of Educational Statistics. Whereas you fast forward to today, that's well over $9,000. And we're going to insert a chart here for you guys to look at. And a private non-profit college costs over $37,000. So the average cost of college and higher education has vastly gone up higher than the average rate of inflation and wages, for sure. So let's go ahead and look at these charts, and then we're going to hop into some repayment options, and I'm going to finish with 2 student loan forgiveness programs that are already existing and helping folks out. So let's go ahead and start with the repayment options that are available to you. Right off the bat, you have your standard repayment option. That's the default plan, and it lasts for 10 years. And essentially, it's one of the best plans to pay the least amount of interest over time. Because sometimes these student loan plans can have quite high interest, even interest that could be higher than one might earn investing in the S&P 500, for example. So a standard repayment plan can keep the amount of interest that you pay less over time. However, sometimes it's not an option because folks might not make as much money to make those payments, which brings us to the next option, which is an income-based repayment program. And we're going to go ahead and throw up a quick chart on the screen, and we'll go through each one of those. So this chart is from LendingTree. We'll include a link in the description below. There are 4 income-based repayment plans, and we'll talk a little bit about those, what they do. Essentially, the options are they tie your monthly payment to a portion of your income. And they also extend the length of time that you're in your repayment period to either 20 or 25 years. And when that term is over, you can get the income-driven loan forgiveness of the remaining portion of your debt. Income-driven repayment plans, they're okay if you're having difficulty meeting your monthly payment and you need something a little bit more manageable if you're in that season. And so let's look at the 4 that are there. There is the pay-as-you-earn, which is 10% of your discretionary income, but it's never more than your payment. That's the standard 10-year plan, and that is a term of 20 years. The revised pay-as-you-earn is 10% of your discretionary income, and you can make it for a period of 20 or 25 years. That's the difference. That's why that was the revision. Income-based repayment plan is either 10 or 15% of your discretionary income, and that's depending on what you borrowed. And again, that is also no more than what the standard repayment would be, and that's for 20 and 25 years. And income contingent is 20% of your discretionary income, or what you pay on a fixed 12-year plan. And they kind of go at whichever one is lower for that. But that is a 25-year, so it's a much longer term, and you might pay more in interest. When I'm looking at folks with student loan debt, and before we figure out a strategy on how to tackle that, we can call their provider and ask to get quotes on what each one would be, and then kind of formulate a plan to do that. So these income-driven plans are best if your income is too low to afford a standard repayment, or life is throwing us a curveball. That happens. That's no problem. And our income-driven plans, like we said, set a monthly payment between 10 to 20% of your discretionary income. And actually, the payments can be as low as $0 if you're unemployed or underemployed, and that can change annually. It's not necessarily a good thing, but sometimes, like I said, we have a season where we just need to catch our breaths. And income-driven plans, like I had mentioned, do extend your your loan term to 20 or 25 years. And then again, at the end of that term, your student loan forgiveness on the debt may be forgiven, but you may also have to pay taxes on that forgiven amount. So always discuss that with your CPA or tax professional before you go about that, and there's no surprises. So finally, the last two are your graduated repayment plan, and that lowers your monthly payment, but it increases the amount that you pay every 2 years for a total of 10 years. So you start off lower and it goes up over time. And the extended repayment plan it does the same thing. It starts low and increases every 2 years, but it goes for a total of 25 years. Or you can choose a fixed version which splits payments out evenly over that 25 years. But again, with something like these, you're going to end up paying more in interest. So that's a consideration to make. All right, so let's finish by looking at two loan forgiveness programs that are out there. The first one is the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. That's a federal program available to government and nonprofit employees. So for example, my wife is a teacher. She's an educator at a elementary school. She would be, most likely, she would be eligible for this program. And the way that it works is you make 120 qualifying payments, and those qualified payments are, they're under a standard repayment program or an income-driven repayment program. And we're going to include a link to studentaid.gov, which has a whole section on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. But what we do is we always call their provider, whether it's Mohila or FedNow, whatever it is, and make sure that we are on a correct repayment plan to qualify for those 120 payments. They don't have to be consecutive, but if you do the math, 120 payments monthly is 10 years. So essentially, you make your payments for 10 years, and then at the end, whatever debt that you still have has been wiped clean. The next one is the Teacher Loan Forgiveness Program, and that is for educators that can qualify for up to, the max is $17,500 in student loan forgiveness if they teach full-time and for 5 consecutive academic years in a low-income elementary or secondary school or educational agency. And sometimes those are called Title I schools. They have to have a certain amount of free and reduced lunch children enrolled in that program. And there are two loans that are eligible for that. They have to be federal, direct subsidized, and they also have to be federally unsubsidized. So those two count. So only teaching in certain subjects such as mathematics, science, or working with special needs children are eligible for the full $17,500. However, teachers of other subjects may qualify for the $5,000. And again, going back to it, it's best that we call the provider, give them the situation, help them the borrower fill out the paperwork themselves to get the most amount of money that they're entitled to for helping with our kids. So I hope that this helped. There's a lot more that goes into doing financial planning for folks with student loans and looking at their repayment options, what's best for them and their household. So reach out to someone who is a fiduciary and can do comprehensive, holistic financial planning to look at your specific situation. If this was beneficial, feel free to like, subscribe, share. We'll see you in the next video. Be good to yourself and be good to others. Have a good day.